Make it a real circle, circular circle. Yeah? I would like it circular. Take a look at the square and then make a circle out of it. There we go. All right, awesome. So I like the circle because it speaks to the value of everybody here being somewhat equal. You know, I like that because I want you to look around this circle and see all these people and realize that these are the people that are willing to take the risk with you, to challenge themselves and to challenge you to be the best fighter you can be today, and to give you some stuff to think about, right? Because yeah, you'll go home thinking about the stuff that you did well, but you're going to think a lot more about the stuff that happened to you that you weren't planning on, the things that didn't go so well, and it's going to change your game. And we've seen that time and again. We see people changing their game as they come here and they go back to their training and they improve it. And that's what this circle is all about. That's what the throwdown is all about. We want to step outside of our own comfort zone. We want to step outside of the circle of the people that we train with and fight with some people that we haven't met before, fight with some styles that we maybe have never confronted before, and do our best and see what we learn from that experience. So this whole thing started a long time ago with a website called Bullshido, where they basically talk about different martial arts, but people would start calling each other out and then they'd have the throwdowns. So we started with that, and it originally was an event where people came and got, cut their teeth, and that was hairy back in the day. And then we went through a period where things got really gentle, and now we're moving to where I feel like what we really want it to be, where people are pushing the envelope and trying to get to a higher level of contact and a higher level of ability through the throwdown. I think that's what it's for. So this is how it works. When you want to get a fight, you walk around and you meet people, ask them for the kind of fight that you want. Any style versus any style is fine. So what you're going to want is you're going to want to write your full name here, first and last name. If you've registered with an alias, that's what will show up when we post stats and whatnot. But we need to have your proper name in order to register the stats properly and to do the data entry. We need your actual name. Please write clearly and the full name. Okay, I know after your first or second fight your writing looks like this, but do your best. So both people's names. Then you're going to talk about what style of fight. MMA, kickboxing, boxing, grappling, weapons, those are our general headings. Now obviously there's lots of different styles. Like if you're doing Sanda and you do the takedown and then you get back up, right? So if you're doing MMA, you might wrestle it to submission. If you're making an addendum to the rules, then you put that in comments, okay? If you have an injury or something and you're saying, I don't want any leg shots, you put that in restrictions, okay? So if you say that you're doing a weapons fight, the type of weapon is here. We have a section for other. We've had umbrella and briefcase before. I'd love to see that again, as soon as some people are willing to trash an umbrella, So if you select weapons, my assumption is that punching, kicking, and grappling are in. So if they're not in, that goes into the comments, okay? If you're just playing knife tag, that's fine. Knife tag's good. So long as both people realize that every time you do a knife fight, you're probably doing like a dozen knife fights, right? So, because they don't last very long. The most important thing here, actually last thing before I get there, fight duration, 2 or 3 minute fights is what I'm going for. If you feel like you need a shorter fight, that's okay, you can write it in there. But in the stats, the shortest fight that we're going to have is a 2 minute fight, okay? So the only reason I don't have rounds is because then you would occupy the mat and the lineup would just end up around the corner, right? So I'm not doing rounds, we're just doing single fights. Also, the other thing about fight duration being 2 minutes, when people get tired, people get injured, right? So that's one of the reasons. If you're standing there shaking, you might want to just bow out, right? Because that's when you blow your knee, right? That's when you get back injuries, right? So just be aware of your fatigue level. The most important part is intensity. I've got a number of things on the group where we talked about intensity. Maybe we'll do that again sometime, but I think we're getting really clear on it. Light fights mean that you're going for light contact. You're trying to hit with the leather, not with the padding and the knuckles behind it. You're basically trying to score the point. And the downside of light fighting is you don't know whether or not you could apply power, right? Medium fights, you're hitting the person, okay? I don't care if you think that medium and full contact are different powers. Once it starts, everybody swings pretty much as hard as they can. So the difference about medium and full contact is medium contact, if the person is not defending themselves, you give them quarter, right? You allow them to recover or to fall down, and you make sure that they're still safe. So you make sure that you don't go ahead and just keep pounding them at that point. Whereas in a full contact fight, you would go for submission or knockout or TKO, right? We don't go full contact unless our trauma nurse is here, because I'm not a trauma nurse. I got my first aid certs and whatnot. I'm sure we've got a few people here with good first aid skills, but she has good trauma surgery skills. So we don't do full contact fighting without her here. She may or may not come. I haven't heard from her today, but she usually makes it about half an hour into the night. So we'll get warmed up before we find out. That's pretty much this thing. These are available at the front table. When you find a partner and you filled out the form, line up. Basically, line up from here and wrap around this way. And the ref will call you up. Tonight, I'm reffing. Steve may ref as well. And Simon may ref as well. So the ref's only job is to make sure you keep your agreement. We've actually haven't had anybody not keep their agreements since we've instituted this. So not really a big deal, but that's the ref's job, is to watch the time and make sure you keep your agreement. So let's see, is there anything I've left out? I generally find that when the person takes a risk with you and goes and fights, that people will show each other respect at the end of the fight. I tend to find that people that fight each other tend to like each other a lot at the end of the fight. So it's kind of customary to give the person a hug or at least a high five at the end of the fight. Show respect is what it comes down to. Did I leave anything out? Any of the regulars? Oh yeah. If it's your first throwdown, you must fight someone who's experienced at throwdowns. Okay, so who's been at more than 4 throwdowns? Who's been in more than 5 throwdowns? 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, you've been since the beginning. Yeah. Anyways, so it was actually his idea. So anyway, fight someone that's been here before. The reason is because for people that haven't fought before, we just want to make sure you're in with someone who's experienced enough to protect you if you make a suicidal move, right? Which happens with new fighters sometimes. So anyway, I don't think I have anything else to say. Does anybody have any questions? So the video is going to go around. You're going to say your name and your age, and that's going to be your agreement to these rules. Okay, and it's going to be part of our waiver that you understood the risks when you signed up. Okay, so I'm Sean Zerger. I'm 45.
I'm Mark. I'm 27, and I agree to the rules.
Aaron Richards. I'm 37, and yes, I agree to the rules.
I am Dexter Chu. I'm 27, and I agree.
Jermaine Cardy, 31.
Alex Chung, 27.
Jonathan Pang, 26.
Steve Leeds, 50.
Ed Garnack, 41.
Zach Myers, 40.
I'm John Ewan. I'm 34.
Mike Pham, 28.
Brennan Toe, 23.
Heidi Hashimoto, 36.
Simon Walder, 26.
Raymond Minhas, 22.
Kaveh Buddy, 23.
John Dempsey, 44.
Jason Fung, 31.
Cesar Ginocchio, 27.
Roy Simmons, 27.
Christophe, 28.
That's it. Okay, so get yourselves ready, find yourself a card, fill it out, and let's get the fights on. We're gonna start with one mat at the front, and then once we get things going, we got a long lineup, we'll have two mats. Yeah! 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 Yeah!